it'll just be Sunday, but for 90 minutes, which is a pretty nice treat. Things that are coming up. Lots of things are on sale. You can check that out on the website, memberships, clothing, things like that. But what I wanted to mostly share with you, I don't see it here. We've got 3 workshops coming up in January. One is on the 1st, and then 2 of the Saturdays of that month. And we have this theme in our own heads internally this year of like thrive, not survive, taking a little shift from what the past few years have been. So these workshops, the first one is just a reset. The second one is breath work, and the third one is meditation. Debbie, are you teaching the meditation? So Debbie is our restorative teacher. If you don't know her already, she's teaching the meditation workshop. Then Debbie, the other Debbie, who I said is not teaching this morning, she'll be teaching the reset workshop on the 1st. And finally, the breath work workshop will be taught by Debbie's husband, Nick, who has been a student and a participant here since he was a student at F&M, it seems like 100 years ago. But Nick is an acupuncturist and just an incredible practitioner of just alternative healing therapies. He is an amazing instructor, so I really would recommend taking the breathwork workshop, the meditation workshop, and the reset workshop in January. I think they're going to be just what's needed. Let's get started. Let's come into child's pose. When you get into your child's pose, first order of business is always the breathing, because that's really what we're doing together is a breathing exercise. So let's put our attention on that to begin with. A deep breath in. Open up your mouth and just let all of the air come rushing out. Now build your slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breath. You'll need to create this breathing on purpose. It's not the breath you walked into the room with, and it is the highway that is what takes us to our transformation at the end of the practice. So it really is deserving of as much attention as we can give to it to be able to create the roadway, the highway that we'll take to our transformation. Now, while you're breathing, I want to ask you to put your attention on a particular part of your body. It's been a part that I have found very interesting in my own practice and very transformative. And it's what I'll just refer to as your thoracic spine throughout class. So it's the spine between your shoulder blades that ribs connect to. While you're breathing here, feel that area fill up and relax. Come on in. Are you Siwin? Come on in. As you inhale, you may feel your upper back expand more broad between the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, you may feel that area between your shoulder blades sink more down to the floor. See how it is for you. That's how it is for me. Inhale, I feel like that area expands. Exhale, I feel like it softens. Now from here, you can lift your gaze and walk your hands a little bit more forward to the head of your mat. So it's a little too far. And then drop your elbows down and bend them. Clap your palms together. And then as you settle your hips again back down to your heels, let your thumbs come to the nape of your neck. Part of this area of your thoracic spine, your upper back opening, includes your arm bones and your shoulders. It includes all the little muscles between your ribs. I feel like when I put my hands in this position and breathe, I can start to feel a little more opening between my ribs. I'll tell you, I feel abundantly aware of what's tight. Maybe you feel that too. Maybe it feels really comfortable for you already. Either way, whatever you're experiencing is exactly right for you. Just breathe and see what there is to see. In this position, take one more deep breath in and exhale. Then you can straighten your elbows, bring your palms to the ground, and come up into a tabletop position where your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Now take a breath and just organize your body so that your spine is very long. Put a little bit of extra pressure on the thumb side of your hand down into your mat until you feel the pit of your belly lift up just a little bit and bring some support to your long, flat back. Then breathe in, get very long, and as you exhale, start to sink your chest down through your arm bones toward the ground. Still a long spine. Each exhale, just allow for sinking. You might notice how your arm bones are getting a little taller while you're letting your chest sink. Seems like they're taller toward the ceiling. You might put your attention on how your hands connecting to the floor have a very important role to keeping the pit of your belly lifting. Another breath, and maybe a sigh with this as you let your body sink. Then breathe in. And this time, as you exhale, press into the floor and let your chest rise up through your arm bones to the ceiling. You'll feel your upper back spread wide open. You'll lift your upper back toward the ceiling and just keep your long spine. So not even cat and cow stretches yet, just the upper back. So now we'll move between the two positions, allowing is the sinking, and then pressing away to the floor to have this rising that we're in right now. So breathe in again. Exhale, sink down. Then press your hands in the ground and rise up and sink down. You keep going like that, chest sinking and rising. You figure out which side goes to the inhale, which side goes to the exhale. We're just looking for a tension between your arm bones, between your shoulder blades, gaining some malleability of how the arm bones are in the front of the body and in the back of the body. We'll be able to use this opening as we move through some of our poses today to do new things. Take a couple more here. When you finish this last round, you can come to the tabletop next. Once you're in your tabletop, we'll take a twist. Inhale, lift your right arm up. You can keep it as a cactus arm or reach. At first, I don't feel myself much more open, so I like the cactus arm. Pull your left hip back as you twist. Another breath here. And then weave your right arm under your left, put your shoulder on the mat, stretch your neck, rest your ear. You can interlace your two hands, and with your left hand, just pull on your right hand a little more. You could take your left foot out to the side, put your flat sole of the foot on the floor, just outside of your fingertips, and then just pull your hips back to the back of your mat while you breathe. Whenever I'm taking a twist, if I'm turning to the left, I'm putting my attention on my back right ribs. If I'm turning to the right, attention to my back left ribs. So you are turning to your left, put your attention on your back right rib cage. Breathe into that space and allow for an opening. Couple more breaths here. I think it's easy for us to get connected to doing things in our practice, and that is one kind of energy we have to harness to create transformation. But there's also a very powerful energy, which is the energy of allowing, ease, letting go. Take one last breath here in this twist. And when you're complete, bring yourself to the tabletop and reset into a neutral space. Once you've got yourself settled into your long spine, then open up to the left, cactus arm or straight arm. Pause here for a couple of breaths. Imagine there's this gentle pulling back on both sides of your pelvis while you stretch long your chest forward to the front of your mat. Breathe into your back right ribs. One more inhale. Weave your left arm under your right, shoulder to the mat, stretch your neck, rest your ear. You're welcome to interlace your hands. Weight even in your two knees and just draw your hips up and back. You can breathe into your back left ribs. Couple of breaths here to feel what you feel. Open yourself up to an awareness that allows you to be the observer of transformation in your body, different than always making it happen and creating it. Take another breath here. Complete the whole exhale. Then bring yourselves into the tabletop. Once you get into your tabletop, a deep breath in. And this time, tilt your tailbone up, sink your belly, stretch your chest down through your arm bones and look forward. Breathe in. Exhale, press into the floor, tuck your tail, lift your belly, get round, tuck your chin. So cat and cow stretches, but start at your tailbone for every one of them. Every cat stretch, every cow stretch. Just move back and forth to the rhythm of your own breathing. Couple of times here, I'm going to grab the assisting cards and bring them around the room. I'll place these cards in front of your mats with the no facing up. You're welcome to switch them back and forth from yes, I'd like to receive assist to no throughout your practice at your discretion. Finish this round of cat and cow stretches that you're on and return to the tabletop. Once you get long in the tabletop, one more breath. Press the floor, round through your upper back and tuck your chin and stay right here more in the cat stretch. Keep your body in this round position, then lean forward into your fingertips. You'll feel more weight in your fingertips, in your shoulders, a lot of stretch through your upper back. Consider this kind of like a handstand prep. And then shift the weight to your right pinky and then hips back to the right heel and to the left heel, to the left pinky, all the way around. Take 3 clockwise rotations. Explore all of the edges of the space available in this rotation. When you finish the 3 clockwise rotations, take 3 counterclockwise rotations. You may have a spot you want to linger on. You may like to take a few really quick circles, but work in your Halloween cat-shaped body back. Once you complete your 2 rotations to the tabletop, come to the tabletop after that. Once you're in the tabletop, hover right here, turn your toes under, take a breath in, press the floor away, feel the pit of your belly lift, and let your knees hover up off of the floor. Now set your gaze on one point. Press your thumbs into the mat. Squeeze the mat with all of your fingertips. Stay right here and commit to your breathing. You're probably starting to feel this. Steady breath now. 3 more. You have this. 2 more. Let your hands pressing be what lifts the pit of your belly and your knees. You have 1 more breath here. Stay for the entire exhale. Then knees to the ground, hands walk forward. This is a puppy pose. Sink your chest down to the ground. Just stretch from your fingertips through your underarm area, each one of your ribs to your hip crease. 1 more breath in and breath out. Downward facing dog. So settle your hands into the ground, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Bend and straighten your knees. Move to the rhythm of your breathing. Inhale and tippy toe. Exhale, bend your knees to hover. Inhale, lift your hips up high. Exhale, press your heels to the mat. Again, inhale, tippy toe. Exhale, bend your knees and hover them. Inhale, lift your hips up high. Exhale, press your heels 1 more time. Inhale, tippy toe. Exhale, bend your knees, strong pit of the belly. Inhale, lift your hips up high. Exhale, press your heels down. Now look forward and step to the front of your mat. Front, inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, hang. Sway from side to side. Breathe and feel your spine growing longer toward the ground. For some of you, maybe move your feet wider apart and create a very solid foundation. Fold your arms and hang. While you're hanging here, every exhale, just let your spine grow longer. Let the weight of your head draw the length out of your spine. Allow the back of your pelvis to grow more broad. Then feet set a little wider, palms to your thighs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Set your gaze right under your eyes on the floor. Hands on your thighs for a lot of support. Take a quick peek down your knees. See that they line up over your middle toes as you keep on breathing. Now raise all 10 of your toes in the air and keep your breath flowing. You'll want to reach your sitting bones to the wall behind you. While we're breathing here, move your arm bones up to the ceiling behind you. That's it. You can keep sinking the center of your chest down through your arm bones to the mat. Nice, really nice halfway lifts. Now, while you're here, big toes pressed down, a little lift of the pit of your belly, not your shoulders moving, just more pit of the belly. Fill up this hollow of your back with the strength of your abdominal muscles. Keep lifting the pit of your, yes, there. If you're able to, you're just sinking your thoracic spine into your chest. One more breath in. Press your heels down into the ground. Breathe out and come up to standing. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, drop your right arm down to the ground. Keep on breathing. Now press the floor away. Inhale, lift your left fingertips up and drag them across the ceiling and breathe into your left side ribs. Keep pressing with your right hand and left heel as you reach for the ceiling with your left hand. One breath here, and then switch sides. You'll bring your left hand down and your right arm up. Right heel can press into the ground. While you raise your right fingertips up to the ceiling, sweep them across the ceiling, move in toward the side stretch. Create it so you feel stretching down the whole right side of your body, whatever that takes in your body. Couple more breaths here. Last one. Stay here and exhale. Then with your inhale, reach up with both arms, hands to prayer position and pause. Set an intention for your practice. 3 times we'll chant together. We'll chant Om. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, reach up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway with soft knees. Let your chest sink through your arm bones. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Breathe in. Downward facing dog. Good morning, Kim. 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. From your pinky fingers through your armpits and each rib to your hips, you stretch. One more time, breathe in. On the exhale, empty, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Shoulders on your back, stand up, lift up, reach up, look up, fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway, long spine. Exhale, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Breathe in. Long, steady breath out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Spread your fingers out. Last time, breathe in. Squeeze the mat with your fingertips. Move up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Stand. Lift to the ceiling. Look up. Take a back bend. And fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, the low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Now maybe you can start to stretch out in the pose. Make it a little bit longer or a little bit wider in order to have maximum stretch from your fingertips to your hips. One more breath. Bend your knees. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift, get the flat back with soft knees and fold. Stand up. Reach for the ceiling. Take the back bend. Fold to the floor and empty. Halfway lift. Move to the low plank. You can step or float and empty on the bottom. Then inhale, come up. Exhale, move back. 3 breaths here. 2 more. As you look at your feet, just organize them so your heels are behind your toes. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees and jump. We'll take 1 more round. Halfway lift. and fold. Press your heels into the ground, stand up, inhale, reach up, fold to the floor, empty. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breath. Spread your fingers wide. Each fingertip is important, connecting to the mat. Here's the last breath in this pose. Inhale, exhale, get ready, and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose next. Bring your arms to the cactus as you take your chair, sit back and breathe. Quick little look at your feet. Organize them so they're parallel to one another rather than maybe toes turning out. And sink your knees right over top of your middle toes. And then sit back. Once you're sitting back, chest open. We'll use our stretches we've been doing in our chest. When you inhale, open a little more, chest forward. When you exhale, get round, bring your forearms together. Sit deep. Inhale, open, chest forward. Exhale, round, touch your forearms. 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. 1 more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Then reach for the ceiling. Breathe in. Fold to the floor and empty. Halfway lift. Move to the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Warrior 1 with cactus arms. Hold your pose here and breathe. Back foot is a flat foot. You can anchor the back edge of your back foot into the mat. Once your back foot has a really powerful connection, take whatever depth of lunge works in your pose right now. We'll take 3 of these same stretches we just did in the chair pose. So inhale, your chest moves forward. Sink your thoracic spine in. Exhale, make it round. 2 more. Open and round. Open. You're moving your spine through your arm bones. Round. Last one. Open. Round. Open. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. We'll take the left side, step forward. Arms up to your cactus. Take a few breaths and organize your feet. Now, something to be aware of when you take these arm motions. Inhale, open. Hold the open for just a second. Feel how your arm bones feel like they're wings that are sprouting out of your back. Different from when you get round and bring your forearms together. Come in the forward position and hold this pose. Feel how much stretching and opening there is in your upper back. That's useful for some poses, but not for every pose, and it can often be our default. Inhale, open. This is your chaturanga body. Exhale, get round. 1 more time, open. Stay right here and breathe. When we take our push-up next, we want the same opening across the chest. Inhale, reach up for the ceiling, chest open. Keep it open. Bring your hands to the floor. Chaturanga. Maybe you use your knees. Chest open as you lower. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. We've got a lot of skills on board, so we're going to flow through the next few sun salutations. You work with it. On your exhale, bend your knees, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, flat back, forward fold. Chair pose is next. Open up your chest and fold to the floor. Halfway lift, let your thoracic spine sink into your body. Chaturanga, same spine here. Upward facing dog, arm bones on your back. Downward facing dog, right foot forward lunge. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Chaturanga, arm bones on your back. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left side, step and lunge. Inhale, look up, reach. Hands to the floor, chaturanga, and empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Bring your breathing. 2 more breaths in this pose. Last breath in. Full breath out. Look forward. Move to your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Forward fold. Chair pose. Sit. Reach. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Drop to your low plank. Keep your arm bones on your back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward and lunge. Inhale, reach up, look up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, step forward, lunge. Inhale, look up, reach up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. We'll take one more round. Deep breath in, full breath out, look forward and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose, sit back, arms up, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, shoulders on your back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right foot forward, lunge, warrior one, inhale, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Up dog, downward facing dog, left side, step forward, lunge, inhale, look up, reach up, hands to the floor, chaturanga, and upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Raise your right leg into the air behind you, bend your knee, open your hip, flip the pose over. Steady breathing as you bring your 2 feet to the floor. That's it, you got it. 2 feet to the floor, reach up and overhead. One more breath here. Come to the high plank next. Once you get to the high plank, turn your toes under so the tops of your toenails are what are on the ground. You have your gaze right on one spot on the floor and press into the floor with the meat of your thumbs so the pit of your belly lifts. If that feels like too much, you can always put a knee down. Otherwise, hold this pose and breathe. We're holding this for 5 breaths. As your hands press down, lift the pit of your belly up. Whole body long and lean and hollow. 2 more breaths. Pit of your bellies lift. More pit of the belly, less lower back. Last breath. Come all the way down to the floor onto your bellies. Shake out your shoulders. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg into the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip, and flip the pose over. Now, I was looking around the room as we were holding that, particularly as you get tired, but for many of us all the way through, we end up with a bit of our belly hanging to the floor like the cow stretches, less of the cat stretch. That puts a lot of strain on our lower backs. Did some of you feel that in your lower back? Let's try it differently this time. Flip over, 2 hands on the ground. You could work with your knees on the ground. Instead of a little bit of belly sagging, we want to press the floor and lift the pit of the belly. So knees on the ground, just getting the hang of it, a lot of weight in the hands, or the 2 straight legs. You'll want to have as much length in your back as is possible and as much lift in the pit of your belly as is possible. I'm going to come around and help a few of you tilt your pelvis. Just tilt it like this. Keep on breathing now. We're taking 5. You can put your knees down at any point. 4. There. That's it. 3. 2 more. 2. Yep, that's it, Connor. Last one. Belly flop. Oh, child's pose if you like that better. It's not really that big of a deal, is it? Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. That's your handstand body. So you guys all just practice 2 handstands. Once you get to your downward facing dog, step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. In a crescent lunge, you're standing on the ball of your back foot. So while you're here in your first couple of breaths, get your baby toe on the ground. Then open up your cactus arms. Now imagine your fingertips. You know how Spider-Man shoots those spiders out of his fingers? Imagine your fingertips are just like that, and you've shot up to the ceiling, and you're connected to the ceiling, and your foot's doing the same on the floor. Raise your arms up above you. So there's tension on your spider webs, right? Take a breath in, And as you exhale, knee to your chest and just pull down. Use that tension to keep you balanced, back and forth like that. You pick the side of your breath that you're doing the work on. I would exhale as I brought my knee up, and you just use this sense of your fingers being connected, your toes being connected to maintain your balance. 3 more. Steady. 1. Finish your last one in your cactus arms. That was pretty good. For your hands to prayer position and twist. Left elbow to your right knee. So you turn into your leg. That's it. Fire up and activate your back leg. And then make length. So instead of looking around behind you, open up your belly side spine. Keep opening, Mark. Here. There. Activate your back leg. And then just imagine that you've got these 2 points, your inner ankle, your inner right chest. You just work into those 2 points. Now 3 more breaths. You're opening your back, left ribs. 2 more breaths. Stay here for 1 more breath. Step forward to twisting half moon. Use your Spider-Man connections. Just reach up, left hand down, stretch. Breathe. I find when I can get a sense of my fingers being connected to the ceiling above me, my foot connected to the space behind me, I can't lose my balance. 2 more breaths. You got this. Last breath, stretch. Tilt back to your crescent lunge. Nice, Greg. Open up, warrior 2. All of you, really nice balance. Settle in here. Take your rest in this warrior 2. Back toe angled in. Front knee over your front toes. Deep breath. Tilt for extended side angle. Reach for the floor. Reach for the ceiling. That's it. So you connect your fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Yes, connect them down to the floor so your hands feel like they're just stretching and connected. 1 more breath in. Fingers reach up. Then bring your hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward for crescent lunge. Once you get stepped forward, organize your feet so your hips are square. If they're a little open, the stepping motion we're about to do is going to be really hard to balance. So you need everything square, cactus arms, and stretch them up. So you want to feel like they're touching something on the ceiling, like there's a web that you'll keep tension on that keeps your balance. Then get ready. Take a breath in. As you exhale, draw your knee up through the center line. And back you go. Lots of control. Draw it up and place it back. So rather than drop it back and catch yourself, you sit it back like it could hover there before it ever even touches. You got it. A few more here. Just work with it. Arm bones on your back as you're moving in. Thoracic spine into your chest. Yes. 3 more. You got it. 1. Step back. Nice. 2. Step back. 3. Lift your belly. Ruby, less sway in your lower back. Step back. Good. Once you get to your crescent lunge, bring your hands to prayer and we'll twist. Right elbow to your left knee. Steady breathing. Stretch long. So from your left chest opening to your right inner ankle, imagine those 2 points just pressing into the same pressure, helping you to lengthen. Lengthen through your long right back. Yes, breathe into that long right back. Just stay here for the experience, the transformative experience of breath into your back right body. 1 more inhale. Stay here, exhale. Step to your reverse half moon. Don't decompose your pose and your attention. Stay in the flow of it and just smoothly step forward. As best you can, lift your chest and your fingertips to the ceiling. You got it. If you can imagine your back heel reaching to touch the wall behind you, you'll find more balance. Your fingertips reaching to touch the ceiling. Your head reaching to the wall in front of you. 1 more breath. Maybe twist. Step back, crescent lunge, reach up. Inhale. Open up, warrior 2. Deep lunge. Knee over top of your toes in your front leg. A little bit more length from your groin through your inner thigh to your inner knee, and maybe there's some sit down available. Lift the pit of your belly. Stretch your arms. Tilt for extended side angle. Reach for the floor and to the ceiling. So if you get to ever teach a class or watch a class happening, what you'll notice for a lot of us, we make it harder for ourselves because we disengage and re-engage constantly in the practice. Instead of using our engagement more like a volume knob, we're rolling it up and rolling it back. We're working with a light switch. We turn on, we turn off. Keep yourself connected and just vary the intensities. One more inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Have a sigh. One more breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Take your time now. This is going to feel so good. Roll up to standing. Just press your heels, lift your belly. From your heels pressing to your belly lifting until you open all the way up. Then arms overhead, right side eagle pose. You can wrap your right arm under, wrap your right leg over. Steady breath. Bring your elbows up to chest height and your fingers forward away from your face. Now while you're here, breathe in. And as you exhale, sink your thoracic spine into your body. Your arm bones will move back. Couple of times, just look for that subtle little sinking. There you go. Little more lift to the pit of the belly so your whole lower back lengthens. It'll go like that in your pelvis. Keep your arms bound. Unwrap your right leg. Move your right leg into airplane pose. Keep your arms bound. You got it. So your fingertips, like there's a web shooting across the room to the wall in front of you. Hold on. Your heel to the wall behind you. You're holding on. Take a breath and press your standing big toe down and feel the pit of your belly lift. A little more lift, Ruby. Then open up your arms, airplane. More lift to the pit of your belly. Chest up like upward dog. Lift your chest, Connor. A little bit more. Yes. Hands to prayer. Half moon, stretch into it. Left arm down, right arm up. You're right there, Beth. You can bend your top knee if you'd like. Catch your top ankle, just like the standing bow, but tilted on its side. 3 breaths here. If you're holding your hand, kick into it. 2 more. 1 more, open up. Forward fold and hang. Give yourself a moment here, hanging and swaying. You're working pretty hard. Feel how it is in your body right now. What are you creating for yourself? Press your heels into the ground until you start to feel a heat come up into your feet. Once you start feeling that heat, press more until the pit of your belly lifts. Press a little more and start rolling up to standing. Soft knees. All the way up, arms overhead. Left arm under, left leg over, airplane pose. Stay with your breath. The left arm's the underarm. Switch them. Yeah. Left leg over when you're ready. So you squat and bring your leg high over your thigh. Your toes might tuck behind your calf muscle. You're pretty flexible. See if you can bring them behind your calf muscle. Then eyes on one spot. Get your breath. See if you can stand tall through the sides of your body as you move your arm bones to your back. More pit of the belly then. That's it. Keep the pit of the belly, but keep the chest sinking too. Okay, now keep your strong bellies. Open up. Keep your leg or arms bound. Open your leg. Airplane pose. Airplane pose with your bound arms. So once you get into it, you'll drag your fingertips more forward and press your heel back. As you drag your fingertips more forward, sink your chest to the floor through your arm bones. Stay right here and breathe 2 more breaths with your chest sinking to the floor. You've got this. 1 more breath. Keep your chest open up. Airplane pose. There should be a lot of opening in space. You got this. A little softness to your standing knee as you let your big toe mounds sink into the ground. Now more upward dog. More lift your chest. You got it. Legs up higher. Lift your chest. Hands to prayer. Half moon. Right arm down, left arm in the air. We're just exploring the edge of what our body can do here. When you get here, shoulders to your ears, and then move them onto the back of your body. If you'd like, bend your top knee, catch your ankle, sugarcane pose. 5 breaths. You got it, Caitlin. Let your top shoulder open, your thoracic spine sink through your chest. Keep the pit of your belly really strong so your lower back is long and lean. I think you've got about 1 more breath to go. Forward fold and hang. Come rolling up to standing. We'll take 1 set of standing bow. Remove your right arm bone back and hold your ankle, shoulder back, palm facing out. It can be a bit of a tricky grip. So arm bone goes back, forearm opens. Hold your ankle, left arm in the air. Start with your knees together and then stretch. Consider that this pose is like a bow and an arrow. I always like to bring that imagery to you so you can understand as you kick into it. You're stretching, drawing the arrow through the bow. Is that how it feels in your body? Feel like you've stretched and loaded the bow? 1 more breath. Drive your foot now to the ceiling and step out. Switch sides. Get your standing foot organized. Move your left arm bone back, forearm open. Hold your ankle from the inside. Good. Start with your knees together and drive your knees straight back. I always spread my fingers wide. If I'm bringing that Spider-Man imagery, when my fingers are spread wide, I've got 5 points connecting to the room, holding me up. Spread your toes of your kicking foot wide and have 5 points connecting you. Keep staying here. Keep breathing. You've got this. 3 more breaths. More kick, Greg. It's taking over in the reach. 2 more. Yes. Oh, that was it. Last one. Step out. Nice work. Now bring your attention into your feet. Let your feet just sink into the mat and settle your breathing by doing that. Tree pose is next. The sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Bring your arms around behind your back and press your palms together. At first, you may find you end up with the rounded back to get your hands together. But once they're together, thoracic spine through your chest, feel your bottom ribs press into your folded hands behind you. Little more bottom ribs into your folded arms or hands. If you're able to, let your arm bones continue to move to the back of your body, the sides of your body long and lean. Lift your gaze up. You can look up. You got them there, Beth. Relax. 3 more breaths. Let your ribs melt back into your fingertips. 2 more. These will come. Yes, feel it now. Last one. Step out. Right foot down. Maybe shake out your arms. Let your 2 feet connect to the ground. Left foot up. Tree pose. Sole of your foot to your right inner thigh. May wiggle your standing toes until you feel the whole surface of your foot on the ground. Little softness, like a micro bend to your knee. Lift the pit of your belly. You can bring the pit of your belly in until you're, yes. You brought yourself into the back of your body a little more. Eyes up, chest up. Let your body soften in this. You have it. Let your fingers just be connected. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Nice. Good, Suzette. Step out, front of your mat. When you're there, inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Chaturanga on the exhale. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, right side triangle. Step your right foot forward, right hand to the block behind your right ankle or your fingers on the ground. Cactus arm with your left arm. Once you're in the pose, shoulders to your ears, to the back of your body. Then while you hold this pose, you work on letting your thoracic spine sink into your belly or into your body. More thoracic spine, back of the chest into the chest. You can anchor your big toe knuckles down on the front foot. Micro bend in the knee. Keep letting your thigh roll open. One more breath in here. Breath out. Come on standing. Face the long left side of your mat. Feet parallel to the short sides. Hands on your hips and lift your chest up high. Forward fold. All the way down. Let's start out by reaching your hands forward. Put your fingertips on the ground and sink your hips back. You can let your head hang down long. And I like to imagine that I'm just got my fingers anchored and I'm hanging, stretching like you're, I don't know, stretching something like taffy between your fingertips and hips. All those spaces in between, long and lean. Once you have exposed the space by stretching it, breathe into your back ribs. Make space there. That's not an area that naturally achieves space throughout the day and the way we use our body, so we can create it here in practice. And then there's a place for our arm bones to live on our back. Now walk your hands back in so that they're underneath of your shoulders. Put pressure in your thumbs and squeeze each one of your fingertips to the mat. Press the floor away so your arms get strong. Then breathe in and bend your knees. As you exhale, roll up over onto your tippy toes, the top edge of your toenails. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, roll up. Try that 5 times so it's a smooth rolling. So not on the ball of your toe. You get off of it onto the top blade edge of your toenails. Keep rolling, Greg. Keep going. Keep going. Yes! Set your hands a little wider, Greg and Connor. 5 more. Take 5 more because this is going so well. Roll up until you feel the edge. Keep going, Sue. Keep going. Keep going. Yes. Some of you may notice your toes start to drag across the ground a little bit. You're right there, Kristen and Caitlin. Roll a little further. So more round back, more belly in. Yep. Finish the last one wherever you are. I know that's a lot of work. Good. From here, just walk your hands around to your front foot. Bring your back knee down to the mat. Straighten your front leg, toes up to the ceiling. You can take this half split, or if you'd like, you can slide a little more forward. We're not opening up and sitting over onto our right hip. We want to keep the whole thing on top and square. So a block under many people's right hip is a really good place to start. I'll try to shuffle some blocks around the room if I notice a few of you that don't have them. A little support. Do you need a, you have a block. Might be nice to have 2 blocks. If there's an ability to sit up tall, do that and lift the pit of your belly. Hands maybe to your hips. Maybe you rest your fingertips behind you. Maybe you interlace your hands and you lift up and back. This is just a more extreme version of the back bending crescent lunge. A lot of lean lifting. Yep, keep lifting, Sue and Briquel. That's it, Debbie. I'm going to give you a little bit of block now so you can really lift. 3 more breaths. Bring the left hip forward and the right hip back as much as it will. 2 more. Yep, a lot of pit of the belly. Here's your last breath. Lift through your sides. Then hands to the floor. Move to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a sigh out. You guys are doing such great work. I'm sort of jealous. I want to be practicing with you. Left foot forward for triangle pose. This is what I would have done today if I practiced by myself. Open up to your triangle. Get your chest open. Little softness to your front knee. And move the pit of your belly into your body and up to your chin. Feel that difference? It takes a little more of the low belly so you can get more space through here. We're looking for length and space on your left side body. Whatever that takes to make that space. For some of us, it's a softer knee. Good. You got nice, good space here, Mark. Although we feel like we're stretching our top right side body, we are. But what we're really secretly doing is putting length in our left side body and learning to support it. Feel the difference? More pit of your belly. Less this. Nope. Oh, nice back crack. 2 more breaths. Last one. Come on up to standing. Turn to face the long left side of your mat. Feet parallel to the short sides. Take your arms around behind your back. Whether you're binding your hands or using a strap, create a bind. Lift your chest up. Forward fold. We do want your hands to spill overhead. If they don't, then a strap would be a really nice tool for this particular move. You might find you're feeling so flexible that you drop your shoulders on your ground and your arms to the ground. You take a shoulder stand. It's a pretty extreme move. Now, I'm not necessarily suggesting anybody does that, but sometimes it's really nice to know, well, what's down the road way ahead of me? Maybe I'm never going to travel quite that far necessarily in this body in this lifetime. And though, I understand to drop my arms more. I understand to breathe into my back ribs. Bring your hands to your lower back, release the bind, and bring your hands to the floor under your shoulders. Now, I would like to step off of my mat. If this box is my mat, I'd like to step off of it and put my hands on my mat so they're really secure. Then we have that same bending and straightening that we did on the other side, but now we're going to add a drag. So inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, lean into your fingertips, move to your toenails, and drag your toes in a few inches. Move your hands back a little bit. Greg, if you come off your mat toward Megan and put your hands on where your feet are. You want your feet to slide. Yes. You want your feet to be able to slide, and the sticky mat is not meant for slide. Someday when we don't need the slide part, we don't have to worry about that, but today we need it. You got it. Keep rolling up on your toes, Georgia. You got it. All the way up. Lift a little higher, so the weight's in your fingers and your thumb. And maybe some slide happens. So keep going and slide. Yes, Raquel. For some of you, you'll find all the weight goes into your fingertips and your toes come off the ground. Take 3 more. Keep going, Greg. You are right there. 2 more. Pull your wrist where you'll find the strength. Last one. In you go. Good. Okay. Nice, Raquel. Come on up. No, walk your hands around to your front foot, half split. It's good Debbie had to work today, isn't it? The really amazing thing about your yoga practice is you can heal your body with it by putting your attention in areas and really sitting with how it actually is. Does it move there? Doesn't it move there? Is there space? Isn't there? What's actually going on? Breathing with that, getting really flat with what's going on, working with that. Blocks are around if you want the support, and if you have the ability, see what would it take to lift the low pit of your belly. When I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about your belly button. I'm talking in this triangle of your pelvis, that low abdominal strength. Lift up and maybe walk your fingertips back. Good. Had enough of that split? It's good like this. I always take my heel off of my mat onto my towel so it slides a little instead of getting stuck on my mat. I prefer that. Some people don't feel like they have enough control of the pose that way. Okay, complete this. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Now you got to rest a little bit. Come into a high plank. If you're able to, turn your toes under behind you. We were doing all those handstand press in the side folds, and we've now learned we can't have this. We need the pit of the belly pulling in. We're either holding here or with the knees on the ground, or if you're ready to add a little more, weight into your fingers, and you're tapping to each side. 10 taps in total. Lift, press down into the floor and lift your core. You can do it with your toes folded under if the pointed toes just aren't working for you. Stretch out your ankles. I bet you're getting tired there. Stretch out your ankles. Put your knees on the ground. Take a child's pose. You have a few new skills on board you can be doing when you have any class. When your belly is sore tomorrow and you realize, wow, I'm a little stronger than I used to be, you're going to be so happy. Come forward and roll onto your belly for the back bends. We'll take one locust pose. Point your toes to the ground and anchor them so that all 10 toenails are touching the ground throughout this whole pose. You can reach your arms wide or interlace them behind your back or use a strap and then stretch. You want to feel you're stretching your feet to the back of your mat. And from that, the result is you're lifting your chest. Different than everything squeezes and hoists up to the ceiling. So it's not necessarily that your toes come together. It's more feel your heels go wider. Do you feel how your lower back broadened, Greg? One more breath. Come on down. Bend your knees, hold your ankles. Let's try for one set of floor bow. Kick back and rise up. Knees only hip width distance. Now, if it worked for you, that imagery of almost like being Spider-Man, there, knees closer. Just shoot your little spidey web out of the ball of your big toe up to the ceiling. Or from your 10 toes into the wall behind you. 5 breaths. You got it. 4 breaths. 3 breaths, like these are pulling back. 2 breaths. 1 breath. Come on down. Wave your feet from side to side. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. You can come down to your knees and step your right foot forward. We will take half camel poses. So right leg forward, left leg back. Put your left hand at first like it's going into your left back pocket. Take your right arm into a cactus arm and move your thoracic spine through your chest. Find the motion and get it through your chest. Once you feel like you've got it through your chest, keep that. Back knee down, lift your chest up. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm considering my right elbow lifting up. It helps set my shoulder blade in my back to give me this access to the back bend. Wherever you are, more pit of your belly. Yep, more length to your side waist. If you have any more back bend, you can take it, then come back up, hands to the floor, downward facing dog, switch your legs. Left side. A cactus arm on your left, right hand into your back pocket. You want to have a sensation of drawing your left thigh bone back into your body instead of pushing it away. Then you lift. Bring this guy forward if you can, because you're going to get a little different control over this. Instead of pushing this out, you hug this in as you go back. There. Keep hugging it. Keep hugging it now. Come up out of your lower back. Right here. You felt that drop just a second ago. Lift. The biggest back bends come not from a drop, but from a lift. 2 more breaths. Nice. Lengthen your side body. Last breath. Bring your chest up and out of this. Downward facing dog. Stretch back. Stretch back. Come down into a sitting position and make your legs like they are tree pose. Straight right leg, bent left leg. If you feel already like you're sitting back on the flesh of your hips, get a smaller block and sit on it, or fold your mat up into quarters and sit on it until you can feel the bones of your sitting bones, the bottom of your pelvis on the mat. Then take your arms around behind you and interlace your hands and face your long leg and sit up really tall. You got it. Keep working the sides of your body tall. If you're way back here, you won't be able to get that. So you're going to have to sit your hips even up on a block. If you're not sure, try the block. See what it gives you access to that's different than usual. And then you start to hinge, and you'll notice the hinge move from the middle of your sitting bones to the forward edge of them. You keep your sides stretching long. Keep them stretching long as much as you can. Yep, so you'll feel your right sitting bone move back as your heel moves forward and your chest moves forward. Keep on folding a little bit further. Belly to your thigh first. Another breath here. Then bring your left hand to your right baby toe and lengthen even more, chest to your toes. Keep on breathing. Feel wherever it is in your body, and then just check in with your low belly. Can you bring it in a little bit more? Did it go into a relaxed mode? 2 hands in front of you. Hold on to your foot. Hug your elbows by your knee and bring your forehead to your knee. All the way down, forehead to your knee, elbows by your knee, and press your heel in front of you forward. You may feel your quad muscles engage as you press your heel forward. One more breath here. Come rolling up. You can open up the space a little bit wider, turn and face the center of it. And then with your right hand, reach for your right toes, or maybe even flip your palm up, put your right thumb around your big toe, hold on with the palm facing up. And then see if you can press your left thigh and see if you can sink your elbow down to the ground. A block might be a nice landing pad here. You might be able to sink it to the floor as you press your left thigh, not knee, away. Make both sides of your body long and work to turn your chest to the ceiling. That's it, Greg. Good. Let your body adapt. Shoulders to your ears, to the back of your body. Let your thoracic spine sink through your shoulders to the space in front of you. Now bring up your left hand into a cactus arm if you're able. You might like your hand still on your thigh. Some of you are comfortable here in the cactus. Still others will reach overhead with your left hand and hold your right toes. Now from here, we'll take 5 breaths. Just pick the spot where it suits your body. Good. Keep on breathing. Lot of strong belly. I know it's a lot of side stretch, right? Come on up. Switch legs. Remember to sit on the block if that's best for you and evaluate this side unique from the other side, like independent from how it was on the other side. Long left leg, bend your right leg. Determine if you want to elevate your hips on this side. And so we're going to start with the hands behind the back. Face the long leg and lift up all the way back here. Remember, we're trying not to go for a bow. We're looking for length and hinge. That's it, Kristen. Nice setup. If you are on the block and your knee just feels like it's hanging out there in the air, use another block under your knee or a water bottle under your knee for a little bit of support. Toes up to the ceiling. Press your heel away from you. Lengthen the crease of your hips up to your armpits. Right hand to your left, baby toes. You might hold outside of your knee or your calf. For most of us, this is an opportunity to sink into this outer ankle and soften it. When you do that, you'll feel the center of your hamstrings kick in. Feel that? Got it? Right here. Press your thumb in. And this will happen. Oh, Greg doesn't want to know about that spot. Come up, 2 hands around your foot, elbows around your knee, round forehead to your knee. There you go. As best you can. So if you're doing the long body, you made the space. Now you really hollow out. Pull the pit of your body, and you've built this hollow body a couple of ways through the practice. One more breath, maybe a sigh. Come on up. Open up the space a little wider. So you've got your tree legs, just open them a little wider. Face the center. And now with your left hand, your opposite, Debbie. Yeah, left hand, hold your left baby toes. Caitlin's opposite too. That's all right. Your palm faces up, your thumb goes around your big toe. See if your elbow will sink down to the floor inside of your knee or to a block. Try that. If you get your elbow to the block, perfect. This looks great. I'll put this here in case you can bring your elbow to it. May or may not work there. Might be able to sink it right onto there. Cactus arm with your right arm. Debbie's doing fingertips behind her ear so she can open her chest more here. There you go. Now soften something. You may not quite know what. Just look through your body for what is not soft and soften it. Use your breath and melt. There you go. This spot right under my hand. One more breath. Sink. Come on up. Good work. 2 feet in front of you, forward fold. Thank you for being so willing to try things today. Forward fold. Reach for your baby toes. I always love when the practice is a discovery and I get reminded and taught how to discover. That's easy to forget in life. Flex your feet. There you go. Yep. It makes life far more interesting. And I think it's actually part of our purpose to be able to discover instead of to know and just live into what we already know. Instead, moment by moment, to discover life. Come on up, reverse tabletop. You can put your flat feet on the ground, shoulders behind you. Now you know this already. We've done it a bunch of times. Let your hands sink down. Move your thoracic spine up into your body, chest to the ceiling. See if you can find the pose that way today. Hands sink down, especially the thumb side, and the thoracic spine moves up between your arm bones to the ceiling. Come down, sit down, roll onto your flat back. Once you get onto your flat back, roll your feet overhead to plow pose. You can take the waterfall pose if you prefer. I'm so intensely interested for all of us in our deep, low core strength because it's what allows us to try new things. It's what allows the periphery, our armor, to relax because something's got us. Makes us, of course, much more stable, much more strong. Five more breaths in this pose. When you complete your 5 breaths, bring yourself into whatever would be a finishing pose. So like if handstand would take a child's pose, plow pose might take the knees to ears pose. Ultimately work your way to your flat back. Once you're on your flat back, hug your knees into your chest, then drop them to the left and look to the right. Set something up in your body that's gentle. When you get settled into it, take a breath with a sigh. And then switch sides. So I'll be with you again on Thursday morning at 9:15. Get yourself signed up so we can continue our work. You did a great job today. You're stronger. You're more connected to yourself, therefore more easily able to connect to others, more able to just handle whatever comes up in your day, good or bad. Take a deep breath in. Have a sigh. Come to the center, Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees open wide, and get your body organized. Shoulder blades on the floor, a little bit of length in your spine. You have a cold eye towel here in the studio next to your mat. You're welcome to use that. And then finally, stretch your arms and legs out long for Shavasana. I'll get it. Once you get yourself organized, take a deep breath in, have a sigh, and settle. Let your breath soften. Maybe no more pause between your inhale and your exhale. It might take a couple of breaths for that to happen until you get this smooth, rich, everyday breath where your inhale flows right into your exhale and back again. Be an angel. I often imagine that we keep the angels very busy. They tell us to turn here or there, warn us of dangers, say, listen, and look. They tell us things will be okay, and they're sorry we're hurt. Angels in our lives encourage us to hope, dream, dare, and trust. They point out beautiful sights. They shine a light on our path so we know where to step next. Most of us are not as sure of ourselves as we would like others to think. We need guidance, faith, and hope. We need to know we're on track and that someone cares. We need the angels to help us. The angels in our lives give us a kind word, share a kind thought, offer a helping hand, and a warm smile. Their words empower and comfort us. Their touch heals, their loving looks warm our hearts. They radiate love and faith. I've learned it's easy to be loving, one man said. What takes work is to be kind. Make it easier for the angels and easier for others. Practice being loving and kind, and be an angel too. Begin to deepen your breathing. Move your fingers and your toes. Give them a squeeze. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your side. Then bring yourself up into a sitting position. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. Give yourself a moment to feel what you feel right now. See what there is to see. From this, from what you observe, set an intention for the rest of your day. With an inhale, reach your arms overhead. As you exhale, bring your palms to prayer position at the center of your chest. One more time, let's chant together to just complete our practice. Take a deep breath in. Thumbs to your forehead. Deep breath in and exhale. Namaste. Good work. Thank you for playing. So much fun to discover new things and see where we can go from here. You did a great job. So much fun. I look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday. I'll see you all. Who's coming on Thursday? Raise your hand. Thank you. Good. Get signed up. I'll see you then. Have a great rest of your day, and then I'll get to practice with you on Sunday.